Harden has Clippers debut. A whole lot of basketball going on, and we're gonna discuss it right here on the Swish Masters Podcast. What's up, y'all? This is QtheGuru. Back at it again with my co-host Zay, the executive producer. Zay, how we doing, bro?
Man, making it, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. Talking some hoops today. It's always a good time.
Yeah,
Got your boy
man.
James, man. What you thinking so
James.
far?
I'm looking forward to talk about him and how this Clippers team looked. Decided to talk hoops, bro. So thank y'all for tuning in, and again, welcome to the Swish Masters Podcast, man. So was there to get right into it. James Harden has Clippers debut. They played against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And again, let's remind people what they gave up. They gave up some valuable wings in the process, which kind of showed up. Yeah, I give you more credit in our discussion we were talking about yesterday because I was like, they should be fine.
Yeah.
But no, I was wrong, America. I was wrong. And those who are not listening from America, but I was definitely wrong. I was wrong. I admit it.
Man. It
It's
happens.
okay.
Hey, you have valid points.
It's okay. I was wrong, y'all. But James Harden, bro. So this is the thing. They lost to the Knicks. By halftime, it was a decent. They were ahead.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they can still potentially pull it out. But the thing about this game, PG had a real off game. Real off game shooting wise, like an anomaly. I do not expect that of PG. Like, I need to pull up the stats, but I believe, like, on top of my head, he was like 4-17 or something like that. It was like, it was bad. It wasn't 4-17, was it?
He was 2 of 11, 18%.
Oh, that's worse. Never mind.
Yeah.
I just knew it was bad, bro.
Yeah, man.
And to be fair to James Harden, he had a decent game, like shooting wise, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the stats y'all had to pull up. So yeah, James Harden had 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 of 9 shooting, 2 for 4 from the field. A lot of discussions about him and Russell Westbrook. Westbrook also had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. They both had their share of turnovers. Westbrook had 4, Harden had 2, PG had 4, Zubac had 5. It's like how they're trying to play the system. They're all trying to figure each other out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, main takeaway from here too is Harden had the worst plus minus.
Yeah.
And there's several reasons for that. And we were to get into this in our discussion about Harden in our last podcast. But what they lose defensively.
Yeah.
And that really showed up too. So I would like to hear your opinion about this so far. It's a small sample size, of course. First game together. We know it'll take time. But what are some things you've seen early on that's like, in order to be successful, they need to do this?
Yeah, I think you said it. It's kind of an anomaly with Paul George having the type of game that he had, 2 of 11 shooting, still managed to get to 10 points in the stat sheet. And just as I combed over it, you can tell that they're trying to. This was their first game. Obviously, they played about the full core 4 played about 19 minutes together, and based on the stat sheet, you can tell that they're just trying to figure out each other as they, start to gel, play more, understand each other's strength, weaknesses, and kind of get an understanding of how it's going to be throughout the year. Other factors, I really don't count this game, honestly. They're playing against the Knicks, and depending on how Julius Randle comes out, he could have a very good game, or he could just have a regular game or a bad game, because there's some inconsistency there with the Knicks, obviously. But it was a good game, I guess, for them to warm up. Like you said, the first couple of quarters, we saw them looking pretty good. Saw Harden come off of a pin down, dish to Kawhi for a cut and dunk. And it seems to me so far like, well, just this is one game obviously, but Ty Lue put all four of the core four together in the starting lineup,
Mm-hmm.
and overall you got a decent amount of production. Like you said, James and Russell Westbrook, 17 each. Kawhi with 18. PG just had a very off game, obviously, but don't expect that for many games to come or anything like that. I think what we see is that James Harden obviously can make things happen with the ball, facilitating. He had 6 assists, 2 turnovers. That's a pretty good assist turnover ratio. And I feel like they'll be fine offensively. Like I'm really not worried. But when it comes to, like we talked about the wings that they gave up a Marcus Morris, who's a 6'8", 6'9" forward. Batum, another 6'7", tall, long 3-and-D type of guys that can switch and pick and rolls, who can give you size advantages, strength, stuff like that. And now seeing James Harden, who obviously gives you a lot on offense, but no one was able to stop Randall. Zubac was not very effective as an interior defender. That's something that they have to improve in as well as Mason Plumlee also getting injured in last night's game. I think I just saw that he had a left knee injury, like an MCL sprain. So we'll have to see how that goes for them as well. But defensively is where they're going to need a lot of help. And I'm looking at the roster. PJ Tucker is like the only name that kind of like jumps off the paper as someone who's going to, outside of PG and Kawhi, obviously, that's going to be impactful on multiple positions on the floor. So James, I'm not saying he has to be Defensive Player of the Year, but he has to hold his own a couple of possessions per game to give them a better chance, at least to win more games. I feel like offensively they'll be fine if they continue to just gel and click. I think that's going to take time. So we'll see. But this is about what I expected, I guess. And hopefully they'll continue to build on it. And I like Ty Lue's decision to go ahead and start all four. Obviously we've seen James and Russell play together, and Kawhi and PG have similar games, but I think they all know that they're going to defer to Kawhi when it comes to certain things. But I feel like they can really, really have a tough go at teams with all the firepower that they have, minus Paul George having a 2 of 11 type of shooting game. So overall, nice. And Harden played about 30 minutes or so, not playing in the first few games of the season, probably missed a couple of practices, so not bad.
That's true. James will get healthier as the season goes, like more in game traditionally. Good point as well. But that still doesn't address, you're right. There's no reason to worry about the offense.
Yep.
I'm worried about this defense though. And especially with this injury to Mason Plumlee. He could be out for a foreseeable future. I think we're still waiting on the update for the most part. Let me see. There's been an update recently. So yeah, as right now, the only bigs that can be a center potentially, PJ Tucker. I don't know how to pronounce this dude's name. It's like Musa? Diabite? I don't know.
Yeah, you're on your own, man.
I'm on my own.
I wanted to, but I'm like, no.
I don't know. My fault.
I struggle with regular words, so.
Yeah, but he has an MCL sprain, so.
Man, it's tough.
He'll have further evaluation, but he could potentially be out for a while. Depending on how that goes. And the lack of fours now puts you in this position. And it's kind of ironic that Nicholas Batum had a really good debut with the Sixers. He was a plus 30 overall for the floor, had 11 points, very efficient.
Yeah,
And I'm sure the Clippers could use that against the Knicks.
for sure.
Yeah, it's a little ironic right there. So yeah, overall though, do you still have the same opinion that like all four can start together, or do you think one of them just needs to take control of the reins? That's PG.
I like the dual threat of, if we're calling James Harden point guard, him and Russell being the dual point guard threat. I like it personally. And obviously, you're going to start Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So, yeah, I stand on it. And, I mean, I feel like we're going to see just a different tone from Russell Westbrook in general because of his time and new time now with the LA Clippers instead of the Lakers. I feel like there was a lot more going on mentally because of just the surrounding Hollywood lights and everything else. I feel like he's in a place now where he's just getting back to being himself, not trying to, I don't know, be the superstar that the Laker fans wanted him to be. I think he's just him versus him at this point. And last night, he had a very efficient game, shooting, 8 of 13. James shot 6 of 9 from the field. Russell went 8 of 13, 1 of 3 from 3. So I think it's fine. I stand on it, and I feel like as long as
it was fine. Yeah. The same.
I mean,
That was a winnable game though, and I go back to last year too when Russ first joined. Remember they lost a couple games in a row, and they were like, "Oh, it's not working." But we saw in the playoffs, like, yeah, it can work. So it's a process. It'll be a process, and we're seeing it play out. Overall, decent debut. I'm just worried about defense and the lack of size, because you gotta have size. Think about who you're playing at the West, and if you get to the finals, who you'll most have to play, you'll have to play in the East. The Celtics got Porzingis, Sixers got Embiid, Bucks got Giannis. So like you gotta have some size and bigs out there to compete. And Zubac, they got him, but he's not that. He ain't that guy. He ain't that guy. He unless he improves or shows me different, he's not that guy to compete like that, to like really bang like that. Like for me, if they had, I'll feel more confident in them. Say if they had like a Clint Capella or something like that, like somebody that can just bang, get the boards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel you.
That's my thing. And they have to get a backup big now. So if it was that B, just have to figure out the rotation with Tucker and pray Zubac stays healthy. So because you need a big in this game. So
absolutely, man.
Bang and compete. So
man. I agree with you. I hope that they can figure out their bigs rotation.
Yeah, rid of the rotations. Yeah. That's how they're going to put these rotations together. And that takes time to figure out because they ain't have a whole off-season training camp together.
Yep.
Because of the timing of everything. So, and that's some of the importance of the preseason too. We kind of knock out some rotation pieces, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can miss out on all that time. So, this is one of the consequences, and the record's going to hurt because of it. So,
yeah, they'll be fine. It just takes time. I feel like we'll be able to have a better analysis of the team next month, honestly. About 25 games in. So we'll be able to
generally, that's a good, that's a good one. Though. We'll see where they at about
Christmas.
Yeah, I was about to say that because I feel like they play the Lakers always on Christmas. So we'll see where they at.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll be a great test for both squads to see where they are.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, y'all let us know what you think too, man. You think this fit's gonna work out? Leave comments, let us know what y'all thoughts are. So
For sure.
yeah, we both agree that it'll take some time. Speaking of those two teams, let's go ahead and wrap up our discussion on these divisions. Since we already talking about the Clippers, let's wrap them up. Personally, depends on the fit, depends on how it goes. They should make the playoffs. Now, before the James Harden trade, I would have been more confident on their seeding. But with the James Harden trade, I ain't gonna lie, bro, they'll probably be in the play-in type situation.
Playing?
Possibly, because it's gonna take some time with this, bro.
That's true.
They'll get in the playoffs through the play-in probably. If not the play-in, it'll be a low seed, like 7 seed. Even 7 seed have to play in the play-in. So it's
true.
I'm talking about that. I don't mean they'll be at the tail end.
Yeah.
They'll be like 7 seed. You have to play in the play-in type situation.
Okay.
That's my prediction for them.
Now, I'm not mad at that.
And you had always the thing about the injuries. That can also be a setback. So
that's a big one with this team for sure.
Exactly, because if any of them get hurt for an extended period of time, hopefully no one else does. But if that does happen, and knock on wood, hope it doesn't. But lack of depth, we talked about that earlier. So that's my expectations for him. Plumlee, hopefully he'll return at some point throughout the season too. So, and they should be able to. He shouldn't be out for the whole season. It's a strain, so he should return. But yeah, that's my prediction for him. What do you think?
That's fair, man. I agree with what you're saying about just this team has just not had the best of luck when it comes to injury status, and given their history, you just kind of have to project that they're probably going to need somebody. They're going to have somebody out at some point, which is fine. It happens. Guys get hurt all the time, but those are the two biggest questions for me for the Clippers are the injury status. What's the injury status going to look like, mid-season, and defensively, do they elevate? Do they get better? For me, I'm a little more optimistic because I think I want to believe that James Harden is going to buy in and do what he needs to. Russell Westbrook's going to be human Energizer Bunny, obviously. Kawhi and PG, as long as they're healthy and not having anomaly games, they'll be okay. Zubac, they do have to get better defensively. Zubac is not exactly the best interior defender. Like you said, need some more banging on the boards. He only had 7 last game. I agree. That's where I'm a little questionable because when you come up against these bigs and you got obviously in Phoenix you got KD at 4 or 3, depending on what lineup. You got LeBron and AD in Los Angeles as well. That's going to be tough. But I'll give them. I'm going to say they're like 5th to 7th.
Okay.
I think they fall in that range. I think they have the talent, the capability to be a 5th seed, kind of like middle of the West because it's so tough. I mean, looking at this division alone, we're looking at 5 potential playoff teams. So I think they can be in that 5th to 7th range for playoffs. I do believe they're going to make it. I don't know. I don't really. I say they should get to at least the second round. I'm giving them like 5th seed. Should be able to get past the first round. Not sure about the second round. They win about 40 40 odd something games. That's what I can see from them. A little over 500 for the season. That's what I'm predicting for the Clippers.
Okay. And they should, I agree, they should make it out the first round. They should, if they're in the play-in, make it out the play-in, get to the first round. And yeah, matches matter, so we'll see where they are. But they should at least get to the second round.
Yeah.
They should be They should be contenders for the conference finals. Like they should be like in that realm. Like, hey, they make it, they have a good chance, you know. So they should at least make the second round playoffs. I agree with you. I agree with that. Go from a big 4 to a big 3 in Phoenix. Not the most positive start. And at some point we gotta have this discussion about these new rules or participation rules. Because I'm like, it's not working already. Because you already had some big TV games already. And Bill is out. Then another game, Booker and Bill are out. KD's by himself. So I was like, that makes no sense. We got to have a discussion about that at some point. But either way, this is an experiment right here. They got some good pieces off the bench now. I believe they got some better depth than they did last year at the end of last season. Got Grayson Allen, Bobo is on the team. Eric Gordon, Josh Okogie has been. I like Josh Okogie. Yeah, he's been a real delight to see. His defense, his intensity, his hustle. Welcome, very welcome. They got Damian Lee. Watanabe's on the squad too, so it's like they got a good squad. They got some decent depth. Now, as far as like predictions go, of course they got to get in the playoffs. However, they don't have the best start so far. And again, this is a very small sample size. But in the playoffs with a start, they wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
So rough start. They shouldn't have lost some of those games to the Spurs, in my opinion. I don't care. I know they got a future like generational type player in the Spurs. We'll get to them later. But still, no excuses though. No excuses though. And to not get one win out there, San Antonio beat you twice? Like, no, bro. This is a team trying to get more picks. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, it's a very small sample size, but I fully expect them to be in the playoffs. Damn.
Hey, real quick, bro. I'm looking at the roster. I'm looking at, they have the height and birthdays and everything up here. Why do they have? I don't know if this is accurate. Eric Gordon is listed as 6'3".
I doubt that.
6'3"? Like, I'm pretty sure he's like 6'5" at least, right? Or is he?
I don't think he's 6'5" though.
I don't think he's 6'3". I don't think he's that short.
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I'll just leave it at that. KD's listed at 6'11".
Well, that's not true. I mean, that's always been a thing. It's like they can lie. It's like how they do these measurements. It's like, but now it's because nowadays it doesn't matter. Back then it kind of didn't matter for the position you played, but now it doesn't matter. So be truthful about how tall you are. It don't matter.
Yeah.
So. But I fully expect them to be in the playoffs. As far as seeding, they should be a top 4 contender. They should be. Yeah. But then again, I should give them saying grace. But the thing is, the difference between them and the Clippers is that they've had a whole offseason together, training camp, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got too much talent not to be a top 4 contender. So. Top 4 seed. Definitely get to the second round. Contenders for the conference finals, in my opinion. But they got at least bare minimum get to the second round. So, and they have a lot of pressure themselves, KD especially, because this is another team.
Yep.
So a lot of pressure's on him.
For sure. I agree with you. I feel like they have on paper they have a lot of talent. So far, we haven't seen their big three playing together. Booker's been out injury, Bradley Beal injury. Another team that's going to be plagued with the injury bug, unfortunately. Hopefully, we get a good stretch and they are able to just manage it the right way. But so far, not being able to see all three of these guys really together has been interesting. Just seeing KD kind of go out there and do what he does. So far, I feel like we haven't gotten a sense of identity from this team. Obviously, we know on paper like they are balling with 3 all-stars, potential, superstars in this league. But I feel like the rest of the guys, even though, like you said, they got better. They got Okogie, who's been playing great. I love his intensity on defense. Have Grayson Allen. He's making plays. Nazir Little, another great wing to add. Defensively, gives you a lot. They should be okay once they just finally get some games together. I just worry about offensively. I think Frank Vogel is going to be able to create schemes defensively to help them. But I feel like they don't have as of right now, I haven't really seen them have an identity. It's just kind of like give to KD, let him do what he does, especially with him being the only main guy right now. It's just kind of like, all right, let's give to KD and we'll figure it out from there. I feel like that's not very sustainable for the season. But obviously, once you get Devin Booker and Bradley Beal back, you can kind of implement more of a structure to understand like where you're going to be for the year, how your actions are going to be run. Still kind of like a weird situation with them not having a true point guard, or at least a starting point guard at this point. But it'll be interesting. They could probably put Grayson Allen in there if they wanted to as well, just to like facilitate a little bit more. But it'll be fun. I think there'll be once we finally get them all together and they get going, I feel like this team should be, just off of the talent of their big three, they like you said, top 4. But I can see them sliding from like 3 to, I'm giving my teams a range today, I guess, but 3 to 5 is where I see Phoenix. They should be fine once they get all their guys.
Right. And I mean, that's how we can do it, because there are so many games in the regular season.
Yeah.
So it's like, give them a range, like where they should go. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, yeah, perfectly fine with the range you give them. So you said that range would be like 3 to 5, you said?
Yeah, 3 to 5 for Phoenix. Should be contending for championship, should be trying to get to the conference finals at the least.
It should.
And we talked about Harden a lot with these trades. I know KD requested a trade, then he didn't, then he got traded anyway. So it's kind of like he's in that type of pressure situation where he's gotten traded a couple of times, and now it's like, all right, let's see what you do next. Let's see you kind of cement your name here. And I believe he can. I know how great he is. It's nothing to take away from his greatness at all, but definitely when it comes to the caliber of players that they have, the leadership that they have, they should be aiming for a championship they should be there. So yeah, I'll give them about upper 40, maybe 50 games to win, as long as guys are healthy, and they should be anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah. And two, the other thing about these ranges too, you never know how the period of the league will go. You know, there used to be a time you had to at least get a certain number of games to make the playoffs, but now the whole range of the play-in and all this other stuff, and the period of the league, He could probably get in about 40. He could be somewhere. He could be mid to, you know what I'm saying? It could be anything. So, I feel like you have to be at least above 500 though.
For sure.
At least.
For sure.
500. But yeah. But to do that, I just need to win 42. So it's like, you know.
That's true.
So yeah. Let's move on to the Lakers. Now.
The Lake should.
Off the bat. Should be contenders. Same thing. Should be.
Should, yeah.
However, I think we just saw an example for the game that just happened. AD got hurt. LeBron, shout out to LeBron. Seems like he's denied for all the time already. Like, that's why he's in the GOAT discussion. Like, it's crazy how long he's doing this for.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like the pieces that they added. But to still lose like that, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna say I'll give them time to gel too. They should be having one of the top 4 seeds, but again, if the season were to start today, I feel like they'd be barely in the play-in. So
the postseason.
It's all about health. It's all about health with them. Can LeBron stay healthy? AD, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
And at this point, I'll give AD some time. I'll give him some time to show me wrong. But right now, AD is AD. It'll just a roller coaster, bro. He'll be up, be down. Just, I don't know. Right now, LeBron's a franchise player. It shouldn't be like that, though. AD should be the franchise player. And by franchise, you're playing around them. It's built around them. LeBron should be a main supporting piece, like 1B. But now we still got LeBron being 1A. And this whole minutes restriction thing, we haven't talked about this either. It seems like that's going to be out the window already. So, if y'all didn't know, LeBron agreed to try to do a minutes restriction to preserve himself throughout the season. Like a cap at probably like 30 minutes, 28 to 30 minutes a game. It's already out the window. And it was out the window against some teams that they should have needed that effort from. So this is what I'm seeing early on.
Yeah.
Not too good. But based on expectations, they should be a top 4 seed competing for the Western Conference Finals title and get into the finals. Do I think they'll get there? No. I don't think so. I'm just gonna be real, bro. I don't think they'll get there.
Yeah.
They should be blessed to come out the first round. That's where I'm looking at it right now. The bare minimum, they should get to the second round. But I think they'll lose in that second round. I ain't gonna lie. Based on what I'm seeing, and hopefully they prove me wrong. The main person in this whole conversation right now is AD. That's just me.
Yeah.
So they gonna make the playoffs, get in the second round. They'll probably lose in the second round.
Yeah.
That's what I'm at.
I feel that. Like you said, LeBron has a lot to carry, and he shouldn't be carrying this much at this point in his career. This is year 21.
Crazy.
And obviously he looks great. He's doing his thing. And when you have LeBron James, you have a chance. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to disagree, man. I don't see them on paper and these hypotheticals. They should be a top 4, but the reality is
Should be top 4. Yes. I'm gonna hold them to that expectation because they should be there, but
play in, bro. Lakers are playing. And it's
okay.
Let me explain though, because there's no disrespect to LeBron, AD, none of that team. They have a great team, but look at last season. They had Austin Reeves, who kind of emerged, D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt. They have these good pieces, and they added more pieces this year. But it also comes down to AD's injury status, AD's mindset. Is he going to take a further leap to be more dominant, to be the driving engine that LeBron is having to be, or has had to be over the course of his tenure with the Lakers? And right now, I don't know about that. It's early, and AD unfortunately got a little banged up last night, so I don't know. But like you said, we got to give AD a chance. It's still early. We're only 7 games in. But if if history precedes itself, then we will be expecting AD to have, like you said, that roller coaster of when he's up, he's up. When he's going down, he's flying down. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. I don't really see it happening. And plus, like you said, the parity in the league is just great right now. Like it's so many great teams. Like I said, the 5 Pacific Division teams are playoff teams. All of these teams.
Yep.
Then you got the other beast in the West. It's going to be just very competitive. And like I said, it's no disrespect to the Lakers, but I feel like because of injuries over the course of the season, the level of competition that they have to go up against every single night, they're going to slide. And they probably, like last year, I think they end up in like that 6th to 8th range just because it's just so competitive. And I don't feel like they're going to be able to maintain dominance over an 80 plus games and the playoffs. Like I just feel like they're gonna make it. I think they make it, they'll be fine. But they're gonna slide in the regular season. That's just what I see. But on a positive note, just to be fair, I like what I'm seeing from Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
I like what he's producing. D'Angelo Russell seems to be solidifying himself. He's playing better defensively, which I'm very impressed with, and he's looking a little more consistent. That's going to be the thing for the Lakers, just being consistent. AD consistency, showing up, going out there and being a dominant big. LeBron, the definition of consistency is almost like him. He's been doing this for years. I think he'll be fine. The rest of the crew, you got Taurean Prince, you got Christian Woods. You just get a level of consistency where they contribute, let's just say 35 a game, like from the supporting cast unit, like an extra 35 in the second half or something like that. They'll be fine. I feel like they can manage that. It's just that it's so competitive that they're going to slide to me. So I say like 6th to 8th, maybe the second round, just depending on health.
So how far you take them to go?
I think they can get to the second round.
So we on the same page and about that.
I think we're on the same page, man. It's kind of hard to put them because I'm thinking about the Denvers and
mm-hmm.
I
like how Christian Wood's been looking too. Like he's been a great addition, and he should get paid next offseason
for sure.
It's just everybody else. Taurean Prince had good games here and there. Jackson Hayes has been impressive. Yeah. But like it's just like you said, consistency of everybody else. And is that going to be enough when stacked against other Western Conference powerhouses? And again, it all centers around AD and the health of those 2 core players, because otherwise, it's a flop. That's what it is. Yeah. Let's talk about Golden State, which have a really positive showing so far.
For sure.
I think right now, again, small sample size right now. This doesn't matter at this point in the season, but I think they're like 6-2, something like that. Yeah, 6-2.
Yep.
Shout out to Clay. Big time shot. After having an off game, Chris Paul seems to be accepting his role. He seems like that's the route they're going. He'll be coming off the bench, and he'll be playing in spurts. So, and he's embracing that role. He's being a leader on the bench, and he's a leader when he plays. So he brings that experience to that backcourt. So that's just the role where he is right now, and that's fine. It's perfectly fine. So it's looking really good early on, and we can see the difference between. Do you remember the start in the off season with the Warriors last season? I mean, you don't have that drama in the beginning, so
my God.
you don't have that drama because this is technically where they should have been last year. At this point, like, having this type of start, but the distractions, and we don't have that this season. Jordan Poole's gone. So this can be almost like an addition by subtraction almost type thing too. So like we can see that. Now this is a make it or break a year for Klay Thompson though. He is a free agent after this season. So he needs to ball out. And I have faith that he will. But for the Warriors, it's about who are you going to pay and who you should keep. Otherwise, this really could be the last year that we see this iconic trio together. Because otherwise, Klay could be gone. Shout out to Draymond for getting his money. He's staying. We covered that last season here on the Swish Masters Podcast. They got some other pieces. They got Corey Joseph. Kuminga. Kuminga's really probably that guy that needs to step up the most. Based on what they have, he's that guy that needs to step up the most. And I feel like he's willing to take that mantle and do it. We just have to give him time and see. Can Wiggins continue to be that force? Get to that point where he was year before last, All-star Andrew Wiggins. That's what I'm talking about. All-star level Andrew Wiggins. Get to that point.
Right.
So yeah, Curry. Shout out to Curry, man. He can't stop Curry, bro.
Chef Curry with the shot, boys.
Yes.
Years later, it's still ringing.
Exactly. So it all depends on the play of the others, really. I trust Steph. He'll do his thing. He'll be where he's at. And then growth of Kuminga, the consistency of these others. And they have a great start so far. So
yeah,
I expect them to be similar where they are right now. Top 4. Potentially contending for the number 1 seed. And keep going. Bare minimum. It's tough because on paper, other teams are better. But just something about just the Warriors and their system that they run.
Yeah, man.
So they may not have as much talent as these other teams. It's just the system that they run. And the X factor that is just Steph Curry. Like, he's just does so much for defenses. He stretches them out so far. And if Klay returns to any type of form, to All-Star Klay, they got it. They got it for sure. Yeah. So, for right now, though, prediction right now, second round for sure. I don't see him making it out past that based on talent of other teams, but I could be wrong. So, I don't see him getting out the second round. That's as far as they go, in my opinion, just talent-wise. And they could make moves by the trade deadline because I feel like they need someone else. Because Chris Paul is not the same Chris Paul. So they're not getting that production that he was given when he was with the Suns, for example. It's not that production. He took a step back. So that's okay. And sometimes it could be an adjustment thing for him too.
Yeah.
So that's fine, man. I'm really excited to see what you think about the Warriors this year. So what do you think?
I'm really up on the Warriors, bro.
Okay.
To me, I like the Chris Paul addition. I like what I've seen, even if his numbers have dropped as far as like scoring and other things. I like this addition. I like where they're at, and they're actually starting out better than I expected. I think they're going to be top 3 in the West. I think that the addition of Chris Paul and specifically the role that he's taking, right? He's coming off the bench, and just because you come off the bench, this is very important. It doesn't mean that you won't be in the game when it matters.
Sure.
It's about being in the closing hours of the game, the closing minutes, closing seconds. And to me, adding him to Steph and Clay and Draymond in that fourth quarter, that's tough. Even if you aren't really looking for CP to go out there and get you a bucket, get you a mid-range jumper, or get you a clutch shot or anything like that, they don't need him to do that because you have the 2 greatest shooters of all time.
Sure.
You have just an offensive genius in Steve Kerr, who's going to orchestrate these things to get his guys open. Draymond makes smart plays all the time down the floor. And you got an all-star potential guy in Wiggins who can do it on both ends of the floor. And not to mention, still got Looney. Kuminga, who's got a lot of potential. Gary Payton II, who's that Swiss Army knife who can do a little bit of everything, who can be a threat in the pick and roll as a 6'2" guard, lob threat. I like their versatility, and I like that they have Chris Paul because when it comes down to that fourth quarter type situation in the clutch, you can put the ball in his hands. He's going to make the right play. And like I said, he's playing with some of the greatest offensive players to ever play the game. I feel like it's going to make things a lot easier for Steph. And like you said, with his leadership, Chris Paul's leadership impact on this team is going to be very beneficial for the young guys, for Steph, for Clay, for all these guys, really. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's got a lot of like the right mentality, a winning mentality, or a driven, focused mentality, which I feel like they were lacking last season, obviously, with the altercation with Draymond and Jordan. I feel like Chris Paul's personality is going to keep everyone in check when it comes down to, getting into that boiling point of the season. So the dynasty is alive, man. I feel like they, like I said, top 3. I'm going to say conference finals. I think they can get to the conference finals. I don't know if they get past that, but I think this on paper and what I'm seeing and their style of play, and adding a Chris Paul who's now going to be taking a slightly different role, but he's getting a little more rest coming off the bench. He doesn't have to, I guess, do as much. I like it, bro. I think they found a good chess piece in Chris Paul, and that's going to help them down the line just for other things outside of like the physical game. I feel like that helps with just having a basketball mind on the bench or on the floor at all times. Just in addition to Steph and Clay and Dre. So yeah, man, I think the Warriors have a chance to keep their dynasty going.
Yeah, when you have Steph, you always got a chance. And good points about Chris Paul. Good point. But just see how it goes. Yeah. See how that fit emerges. So,
absolutely.
Get to the Kings. Man, shout out to the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
They're continuing the trajectory from last season. I like this Kings squad. I really like this squad. I really do. As far as players to look out for, Murray. Did Murray can take like another step from last season? Ooh. It's hard to stop the Kings, bro.
Yeah,
they got everything. I love the pace of play that they play. Sabonis, you got Fox. I love the squad, bro. I love the squad. They got a good combination of vets and young players. JaVale McGee's on the squad. So and he brings that championship experience, mindset. So I love the Kings, bro. They're definitely playoff bound. Um, as far as how far, mm, uh, you know what?
What you got, bro?
I'll put my faith in the Kings a little bit. You know, they should. What's a successful season for the Kings? I feel like you lost in a tough 7-game loss to the Warriors, which is okay. I feel like that's successful. You got to take it just another step from there. Now, you don't have to be Western Conference Finals bound, nothing like that. But if you can get, to that second round, I feel like that's successful enough. But there's so many spots, so I'm gonna have to give my predictions at some point. Who I actually think will make these spots. So I feel like they can get there. And this is a sneaky team right here. This is a team that could get to the Western Conference Finals. I ain't gonna lie. Like I will compare them to.
I'm telling you, bro.
I would compare them to like the Atlanta Hawks that year. You remember how like they came out?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of believe this Kings team can be like that, especially with the development of some of these players, like I mentioned. So I could see them sneaking getting into the Western Conference Finals, bro. Like bare minimum, semifinal round at least. And seeding wise, like right now they're top of the conference. So if they keep doing their thing, they could still be right there. So I don't see why not. So yeah, 1-4, 1-5, and sneaky contenders for the Western Conference Finals. Like, I would not be surprised if they make it. But bare minimum second round for sure. Semifinal round.
For sure. I like a lot of what you said, man. The Kings, I'm excited about. I honestly think that they, like you said, kind of are a sleeper, but they aren't really a sleeper to me.
They got what they did last season. Like
they got a third seed last year.
They did. They did.
After not making the playoffs for years. Obviously, they got Swiper Fox. De'Aaron Fox is going to do his thing. It's going to be another all-star season for him. I'm believing in that. Sabonis is another just like crazy wonder of a big. He can do everything. I think he just has to be more assertive, honestly. That's what I think he was missing. He was kind of hesitant when it came to certain shots or, just he makes the right play, but I feel like he can be hesitant instead of sometimes just going and attacking. If he does that, I like their chances. And I'm looking at the roster and I'm like, they didn't really do a lot, but they didn't need to.
That's really good. They didn't need to. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
They kept their core of guys. They got young guys. They got savvy veterans. They added a JaVale McGee. And we haven't talked about this, but they added the EuroLeague MVP from last season.
Yeah.
And obviously it's different over in the NBA. But when you're talking about the EuroLeague MVP going to this team, that was number 3 in the – bro, they have sneaky but really not sneaky potential. They are a solid team looking at just a balance of young and older guys who can all do different things on the floor. Keegan Murray, I think, is going to ascend. I know Mike Brown, reigning coach of the year, Mike Brown, has a lot of expectations. They got Chris Duarte, who's balling up in Indiana. They have some talent, bro. And as long as they find a level of consistency, I feel like they have the potential to be anywhere from 1 to 3 as well. They, like I said, they were balling last season, and I expect them to ascend. Obviously, they are 2-4 at this moment, but Fox I think he got hurt recently. But they'll be fine, bro. Like Malik Monk, I love everything he does. Like he just goes out there and dominates whenever he gets the chance. Davion Mitchell, tough small guard, but he'll D you up. I like Sac, man. Sacktown looks good, and I'm giving them 1-3. And I feel like they got to at least get to the second round, if not further. So that's where I'm at with the Kings, man. I think they top of the league type team. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I read the record backwards. I was first looking at it. I thought they were 4-2.
Hey man, it happens.
It's
still early though. It's early.
Timberwolves is 4-2. Shout out to them too, though. But I fully expect them to be like right there in that range, though. Still, despite where they are right now.
Yep.
So
same.
Yeah, man, it's good, man. Y'all tell us your thoughts about this division. This is definitely one of the toughest divisions in the NBA. Man, but like shout out to these teams though, man. It's gonna be really competitive.
Definitely, bro.
Really competitive. I love it, man. I love it. Those y'all tuning in, I want to shout out our sponsor, SS96. Make sure to check it out. Get this SS96 merch. Check out the music. Zeddy's the producer on these beats. So like, yeah, man, check them out.
For sure, man. Get all your merch, hoodies, hats, shirts. SS96.net for those of you listening on the audio. Be sure to check it out. He's got the deals going on. Holidays coming up. You know you need some presents, some Christmas gifts, just whatever you need, man. Some t-shirts for the day. Holla at your boy. Tell him we sent you and we got you. And like you said, we are making music, man. We just recently put out the Wealth Row Halloween mix produced by yours truly. Go check that out. It's on all platforms. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, everything, man. So appreciate our sponsor, SS96. Shout out to Straight Stoner.
That's what's up. Zay, let's go ahead and get ready to do our final swish for today's episode. Let you hit off first, man. Some big news happened, bro. Let you kick it off.
Yeah, man. You know I gotta keep it Miami. You know, Mr. Miami, he is still in the building. Udonis Haslem retired after his 20th season, but he's right back, man. Back to work. He was officially hired as Miami's new vice president of basketball development. Man, we all knew that UD was going to be part of this organization from the jump after basketball, after playing, and I'm happy for him. Happy to see former players getting the opportunity, especially a guy like Udonis, who's been in Miami his whole career, stood on business the whole time, and I think there's no better representation of Miami Heat than Mr. Miami himself, Udonis Haslem. So shout out to him. Congrats, UD. We are glad to have you in the front office. Glad to have you on the payroll. You know what I mean? So shout out to UD, man. Happy for our guy.
Yeah, well deserved, man. Well deserved. Deserves it, bro. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
It only made sense. It only
does, man. He literally is Heat culture, bro.
The definition of it, embodiment of it, you know.
For real.
Shout out to UD, man. One of my favorite guys of all time.
My final space, I gotta talk about Victor Wembanyama, bro.
My God.
First night wasn't so hot, but ever since then, bro, he has been tearing the league up, bro. And against KD.
Yeah.
And KD had a marvel at it, bro. Like, hey, man, this man just only person that can stop him is him. That's it. He is so tall. Yo, he is unstoppable. I'm playing with the dude in 2K. Every time I play with him in 2K, I'm the PG in 2K. All right. All I'm doing is dumping out the Wembanyama. This man is so tall, he just gotta just flick it up. I'm like, and this is over tall defenders. So I am so excited to see his development as he grows. His shooting touch is it's at a good spot already, and he's just going to get better. How can you stop this man? Now KD knows what it feels like to play against KD. That's what he experienced. KD, this is what people feel like when they play against you. We can't stop you,
bro.
Like, this is crazy.
Straight up.
I told you this dude. That's why I wanted him so bad at OKC. But I'm happy with Chet. Chet, we're gonna show him how it's done, bro. This is gonna be a good rivalry between Chet and Wemby. I feel like Wemby won the first one, but we'll get there. Like, matchup wise, we'll get there with Chet. So but Wemby, shout out to him, bro. Definitely rookie of the year. I'm calling that already. I don't give. I know I said Scoot. I like Scoot still, but Wemby, God, dog, man, the talent wise, bro.
Bro, you're not wrong. I mean, that's a great analogy about there. KD guarding KD, literally looking at them.
KD,
bro. Looking at him and KD line up on the free throw line and seeing how much taller he is than Kevin Durant, who we know is at least 7 feet tall.
Yeah, don't trust the stat sheet. KD is not 6'11". That man's at least 7 feet.
No,
and Wemby for at least 7'5". Like, this dude and his wingspan, bro. This is crazy.
It is unlike anything we've ever seen. I know we've said this about a lot of players. We haven't seen anyone like LeBron. We haven't seen anyone like KD. But he's not like anyone. He's on a class of his own. 7'6" with the handle that he has, with the shooting ability. Yes. And it was just like all he needed was like to turn the switch on, to like get the nervousness build for one game, and now he's just like he had like 38 against KD, like. Mm-hmm. And we're like 6-7 games into the season, and I think he found his footing, like, and that's scary for a young dude at his size, his ability this early in. Like,
and the Spurs are playing him at the 4. Can you imagine, like, as he develops, he's a 5 too? Like, you can't stop this dude. Like, it's crazy. My ideal mindset for the Spurs to do is to find because if he stays at the 4, call it a wrap. Like, it's a wrap. But if you can find a reliable 5 that can space the floor, I like Zach Collins. He can space the floor. But I'm talking about finding someone like more of a 2-way player to match up with Wemby. That front court would be unstoppable. Like,
bro. That would be the new Duncan and Robinson in San Antonio.
Basically. I was surprised they were put him at the 4 when I first heard the news. I was like, okay. In my mind, he was going to be a 5. But it makes sense. And because once he builds up and play that 5 more consistently, it's over.
Whew. Yeah. He looks incredible. I'm excited, man. Got to get down to San Antonio and see him in person, because he is literally the most 2K-ish looking player I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. If you had a dream model in 2K, that would be him. I mean, the handle is unreal.
To make someone,
the playmaking, everything, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This gonna be tough. Yeah, shout out to Wemby, man. He's been balling. Like, you might be right, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You might be right about this whole rookie of the year thing.
Early on.
It's early.
Rookie of the year is more about highlights and moments than anything. Unless a rookie somehow takes his team to maybe like playoff territory, like unexpectedly so. That's the only difference, I think. And they made that significant impact. Otherwise, it's all about highlights and moments.
For sure.
and talent. And right now, Wemby got that in spades right now. So
Absolutely, bro. It's
future league is in great hands, though, man. I love it.
Him, Chet, man.
Him, Chet, Scoop, even players. I don't know. It was something about this draft class. Maybe that could be another discussion in the future, comparing draft classes. Because this one, I feel like more potential than last year's. I ain't gonna lie. As far as like how far they can go.
Yeah.
Like I like Paolo. But like if I had to choose, I mean, come on with it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. It's tough, bro. Man, I don't know. It's early. I'm a reserve judgment. Before I say
we wait to see. Yeah, we wait to see.
Wembanyama, unreal, bro. Just unreal. I don't know what to do with that.
All right, bro.
What do you do with that?
But, thank y'all for tuning in to Swish Masters Podcast, though. Man, so excited for basketball. Excited to see where it's going. Excited to see where these teams are going. We're excited about the parity of the league, which is great to have these discussions, man, about where we think things can line up. So y'all keep tuning in as we continue to our series on previewing these divisions. So yeah, next we'll go back to the East, and make some predictions there. So man, yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. So yeah, I appreciate y'all.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yep. At the bottom, you should see where you can find us on. So make sure you check that if you're our visual listeners on YouTube. All your listeners, keep listening how you listen to us right now. We on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, all that stuff. So thank y'all. Leave comments too. Let us know what y'all thoughts are. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. We appreciate y'all, man.
Oh yeah, like you said, keep tuning in to the content. We are everywhere you can possibly think. YouTube, Google, Apple, Spotify. Everywhere, man. Follow us, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that, see y'all next time.
Peace.